Are you ready to test microphones? Hi, this is John McPherson.
This is Madeline Cuno.
This is Lee Fowler.
And this is Stefania Hernandez.
All right.
So really close.
All right, so let's go ahead and do Alexis.
Alexis Brinkley testing sibilance.
Oh, now you're showing off. DJ, you ready? Coming to you in 3, 2. Welcome to Real Estate Radio with the MKT Real Estate Group of Caldwell Banker Triad Realtors. It's the day after Groundhog Day. Did you repeat yourself yesterday, Madeline?
Twice.
Did you repeat yourself, Madeline?
Twice.
Did you repeat yourself, Madeline?
Twice.
Oh, sorry about that. All right, so welcome to Real Estate Radio, folks, with the MKT Real Estate Group of Caldwell Banker Triad Realtors. I'm John McPherson.
I'm Madeline Cuno.
I'm Stefania Hernandez.
And I'm Lee Fowler.
All right, good. All right, so here's what we got going on today, folks. Earlier, about the middle of January, there was a beautiful magazine that came out. Did you see that magazine, Madeline?
It was a beautiful magazine, John.
Everything except the front cover, correct?
I wasn't going to go there. It was just a beautiful magazine.
The front cover
It
had...
was a beautiful background.
So, folks, we've got a great guest today. Her name is Alexis Brinkley, and Alexis Brinkley is actually a friend of a friend. I don't know if you guys knew this. Alexis is with the Triad Real Producers, and it is a magazine dedicated to the top 200 real estate professionals in the Triad, and she goes in and interviews them, and so they needed a cover boy. I will say that it got to the point where I felt like that there was some sort of obsession with me with Alexis, because she had to take like 250 pictures of me on 3 different days and different lighting, but I understand now why.
I was going to say there might have been another reason.
I think it had to do with lighting.
Yeah.
So I guess we better introduce her and then find out what the heck she's doing, and that's Alexis Brinkley. Welcome to Real Estate Radio.
Thank you, John.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So all that's true, correct?
Yeah, well, yes,
None of it.
except you're way too modest and you're way too humble, and you are my number one guy, and I'm so honored to have you on our first cover for January.
Oh my gosh, and we're going to have to live with it. Alexis, I thought we taught you better than this.
We will talk about this.
No.
Thank you, folks. The show's over, baby. Look at that. Now, what is Triad Real Producers, first of all?
Okay, Triad Real Producers is a social and trade-related publication that is sent to the top 300 agents in our market. It is designed to honor the lives and the careers of our agents, and the purpose of it is to create a more sustainable, a stronger community in each market that it exists in, and it will be in about 100 cities nationwide before the end of the year. So it's growing quickly, and the reason it's not a surprise that it is, because it helps to build and foster relationships agent to agent and agent to affiliate. So, you know, we feature stories. Each month we'll feature a cover story on one of our amazing agents in the market, like John. And then we'll feature a rising star, and then we'll also feature one of our sponsors that helps keep the lights on. So those are our inspectors, our closing attorneys, lenders. So these are the people that make this possible, and it is completely free to all of our agents. It's designed to honor them. There is no charge ever to be featured. The feature is based on nomination and by merit and by involvement in the community. So John pretty much satisfied everything that...
This is my
and
dream
he's smiling.
show.
He's smiling.
This is my dream show. Madeline is over there about to throw up.
That is not true.
And Dr. Cubain took a special interest to send a message to the agents of our market in terms of how to be great entrepreneurs, how to hustle, you know, something that he's notable for, and also he's notable for his moving speeches. So we reached out to him, and he very, very graciously offered an interview. Never made me feel like I needed to leave the office and that he was in a rush. Very gracious about offering his words of inspiration to our agents of the market. So I am thankful to him for that. That's the name of the game. It's about us as Triad Real Producers becoming more interconnected in the community and meeting with people on warm referral, one great agent to another. That's how this interconnectedness has been established, and it can only grow from here. There's so many wonderful agents that I haven't met yet that I'm really excited to meet. Like I said, the whole point of this is to help the agents of our market and the people that work with agents in our market, the affiliates of our agents, to have more organic, sustainable relationships. That's the point of this.
Welcome back to Real Estate Radio with the MKT Real Estate Group of Caldwell Banker Triad Realtors. I'm John McPherson.
I'm Madeline Cuno.
I'm Stefania Hernandez.
And I'm Lee Fowler.
And folks, we are actually videoing this, and so that's why everyone's laughing because I had to look and wink at the camera.
Smiling,
as we did
yeah.
that. All right, so our guest today is Alexis Brinkley. Alexis is an author, a photographer, who strives to find the perfect muse to write a story about or put on the front cover of her new magazine. And in the month of January, she did find someone, and I'm happy to say that it was me. But you were talking about something that the High Point Association does that really impressed you, and you feel like is the mantra or the purpose line of the Triad Real Producers. So go ahead with that thought,
Right.
Alexis.
So I had the honor of being at High Point Association's their Christmas celebration. Right. So they recited the Code of Ethics, and it's the first time I had ever heard it. I'm telling you truthfully, I had tears in my eyes at the end of it. And it maybe sounds mushy and sounds silly, but truly, it's the first time I heard it, so maybe it struck me a little
So maybe
bit.
she is crazy, and that's why
that
she did
is how
something
much
great.
heart. she
And
has
so
for it.
I think she's crazy
When
now,
it-
but I
when
mean,
it
obviously
goes.
we knew that with the other thing. But
Oh, no, come
no,
on.
go ahead. So
So just the first few lines sum up my purpose and our purpose at any real producers in any market. So I want to read it real quick, just a few lines here.
a
I don't know
reading
your
from the Code of Ethics by Alexis
Now, this
Brinkley.
might be a little deep for a Saturday morning, but get your coffee, and sit back for a second.
Under all is the land. Does that help?
Yeah, John knows
Okay.
that much by heart. Good job, John.
Yeah.
So under all is the land. Upon its wise utilization and widely allocated ownership depend the survival and growth of free institutions and of our civilization. Realtors should recognize that the interests of the nation and its citizens require the highest and best use of the land and the widest distribution of land ownership. They require the creation of adequate housing, the building of functioning cities, the development of productive industries and farms, and the preservation of a healthful environment. And to me, so this is me speaking now, I feel like the realtors in any market, in any nation, in the world, are at ground zero, at the foundation of any well-oiled, functioning city, town. They are the people that really are the pushers and the movers. They have so much influence in the direction that a community takes. And so our efforts at Triad Real Producers is much in line with this.
Mhm.
You know, it's creating, like I had said earlier, more sustainable, more organic, more natural relationships between agents, because that is so important in protecting the rights of the clients, the growth of our community, and so that is the foundation of all of this. It's also important to us that the affiliates that partner with us within the Triad Real Producers community, it's important that the relationships that they have with agents of our market become more organic, fostered in strength and more natural interactions with one another. So that is also a piece that I feel strongly about. So I try to build up my partners, I try to recognize them, I try to support them and go to their events and do photography for them at their events at no charge. You know, I like to support them and to keep them, relevant to the agents that they work hard for.
So,
I appreciate that.
all right. Now there
Yeah,
was a
thank
rumor
you.
that you all now have closed the magazine down because the first issue was so
Oh,
popular.
yes.
Now
Nobody,
you're
everybody
just gonna
pales in
reprint it every
comparison.
month?
Too hard to follow.
It's like
Yeah.
you've set the standards.
You know, it
way
is
too
funny.
high.
We, Alexis, I don't know if you've had heard on the show before, but sometimes we'll pigeonhole our guests into saying, something they're not supposed to say. So who is on the February issue? Are you gonna tell me?
Oh, well, I can. But
No,
I
you're not
won't.
going to. I do.
It's a secret.
Top
it's a
secret.
surprise.
Do I know who's on the March issue though? Right? I might.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that's not
see,
so
there
much
we
of a
go.
surprise.
Yeah.
See, that one's coming. So how do you figure out who's going to be on? Because obviously it's the top 300. You'll pick anybody. I mean, close to almost number 85. But so how do you figure out who's on and how are people nominated?
So usually it's someone within the top 150 to 200.
Okay.
It's based on a few things. First, it's by merit in terms of quantitative merit. So you do have to be within that top range of agents. And then it's based on nomination. So your peers in the market, how many times we've been referred to you. We put out there frequently, who would you nominate for a cover for an upcoming issue. And so, we tally the nominations, and then it's also based on community involvement and the amount that an agent is involved with the board or with community service and outreach. So there's a few different elements that factor into that.
All right. Well, we'll learn more about the magazine here in a second. We've got to take a break. Now, I know that the magazine, because, inside scoop here, I know that the magazine, sorry I stole it from you there, the Mr. Videographer, who, by the way, is Alexis's dad, Joe. Everybody say, hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Joe is in here, and that actually is a camera, just in case you guys did not know. That thing's crazy. But love your rising star for this month.
Yes.
She is phenomenal.
She's a top-notch girl.
Yep, she is a wonderful lady. But if you go in here, you've got wonderful ads and things like that. But I know that this is not. Who is this lady? I know that this is not just it. So Miss Turkic is who I was talking about there. What else is Triad Real Producers doing? You got anything coming up? Would be what I would get.
So each quarter, we're going to be hosting an event. Our first event, which is going to be considered our launch party, will be in April. My hope is that as many agents in the market, they don't even have to be in the top 300. It's a venue to allow for the open exchange of conversation, to be fun, social. There'll be music and drinks and food, and it'll be a fun social event where I hope as many agents will come as feel they would like to come. And it's also for advertising partners to come and connect with agents of our market.
My understanding is it a 10-foot by 10-foot cover or something like that you'll have there of me?
Oh, right.
Yeah, no,
there will be blown-up covers of
Oh,
the
there
prior
is,
issues.
yeah.
There will,
Yes.
there will. John,
Madeline.
if you didn't get enough of John already in the past
It's like
3 months,
10
right?
feet.
And is it like big enough that we could run through it?
No,
like
yeah,
the
yeah, right.
football players
It's
do?
8.5 by 11 feet. That's what it is.
Feet.
Blown up. Yeah. No.
Feet?
He's not allowed
Whoa.
to keep
You
that,
weren't
right?
even that. The
Please
picture
don't let
of
him
you
keep
was not
that.
even that
And we're
big.
going to also incorporate charity into those events. So each event, and similarly, we're taking nominations for good charities that our agents feel
Ramadan
strongly
House.
about. Right, yeah. And know that in May, there is a derby event up in Summerfield.
Right.
And so I'm going to be there. I'm going to bring my camera and do some photography for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, but also as many of our agents and affiliates who want to come and be there with Triad Real Producers to support it would be great. I'm going to post on social media.
Yeah. You got away with not really talking about your family or anything like that.
Oh, I can talk about
All
my
right,
family if you want me
so
to.
your husband's
I love
becoming a
them.
pilot,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And you got 2 kids.
Yeah.
What got you involved with Triad Real Producers?
I was a real estate photographer who did it part-time, and I stayed home with my children. And my dream was, for a long time, my dream was to be able to stay home with my children until they were in school. I very much so love my children and my husband, and I felt like it was my motherly duty to be with them. But it's difficult this day and age to have a part-time gig, and although I loved real estate photography, I love photography in general, I did weddings, it's difficult even to have a part-time job and to make ends meet when, we're in the modern day.
She's being really
So-
nice, not saying the kids drove her nuts and she had to get out of the house. I just see this
I'm pretty
coming.
sure
Now,
that's
it's
not
not
what
easy
she's saying.
being at home with the kids. It's
Hardest
not.
job there is.
It is
It is.
very, very difficult, but very rewarding. But the time came when I felt like I needed to expand my business and to help my husband, who was in engineering at the time. He's since gone into aviation, and he's in flight school. But at the time, he was in engineering, and I said, all right, I got to do something more to bring in some finances for our family so we can make ends meet. So my husband and I went on a little anniversary trip to Wilmington. We'd never been there. This was last year.
Right.
And while we were there, we were at our hotel, and we were at Continental Breakfast, and there was just us and this young guy there, and we started talking, just asking him how he was doing, what he was up to for the weekend. And it turns out, long story short, found out he was the brother of a friend of mine that I went to high school with 17 years ago, and I hadn't seen this guy for 17 years. And I said, I need to ask Tom how he's doing. And he said, yeah, well, Tom, he's actually running a magazine in Charlotte, doing really well with it, loves it. I said, what is it?
That is
He
really
said, it's called Charlotte Real Producers. I said, oh, what does he do? He said, well, it's a real estate publication, and Tom, he loves doing this. I said, that's interesting because I'm a real estate photographer. I'm going to call Tom. I'm going to call Tom when we get back. So I did, and Tom and I met under the pretense of me advertising as a real estate photographer in the magazine. Well, Tom and I got to talking. We sat down. We caught up with each other. And as he was explaining the magazine further, I said, Tom, I don't want to advertise in your magazine, to be honest with you. I want to run my own. I want to be the publisher of a Real Producers magazine. Where can I go? Where? And he said, well, come to think of it, there's nobody out in the triad. And he said, we've been looking for a while to fulfill that market. And I said, well, I have family out there. That's perfect. So, one thing led to another, and here I am. So very blessed to have made that connection, and I love doing this.
That's kind of a
I feel like it
story.
honestly got goosebumps
Yeah,
too.
but
Oh,
yes,
well.
some things are just meant to
It
be.
did feel
Correct,
like
absolutely.
destiny. It really did. It really felt
really
like
did.
destiny.
I was
But I did too.
All right, so one of the things that we'll often talk about on the show, Alexis, is no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care.
That's quoted in the magazine. I
Yeah.
read the article.
That's kind of scary, isn't it? I guess I better read it
It
again.
should be kind of scary
So,
that I actually knew.
what about you guys? What about you guys? Do you guys do anything at Triad Real Producers to give back to the community?
So I would like to say that I'm very blessed to be working for a publishing company like N2 Publishing that is very giving back to the community. And right now, anything that any market generates in advertising dollars, they donate 2% nationwide to fight human trafficking. At our conferences, they make sure to bring us up to date on what's going on nationally and in our state and in our communities in terms of trafficking and how to fight it and be more aware of the signs of it. And so they're a passionate organization that's also actually a very Christian-based organization. So it's been rated one of the best businesses to work for in the country. And Triad Real Producers specifically, our goal is to get more involved with what our agents feel is important to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to be giving back to organizations that our agents feel is important to them. So I'm able to offer my photography services anytime to help build visibility for the event. So that's something that I feel like is a gift that I'd like to give back freely.
You actually are
appreciated.
covering up the magazine so that when your dad does do video, you don't want to cover up my head again, okay? I'm watching that, okay? What the heck?
Gee.
That is pure
John.
pretty right there.
John.
What?
Please.
I heard the whole thing.
John makes me laugh every time I talk.
With regards to the magazine, I mean, I think it's a great thing. I'm very, very honored that you were, I don't want to say dumb enough to allow me to be on the front cover.
And we give John a lot of grief, but we are very proud and very excited for him
sure.
to have been that person too. So as much grief as
Quit.
we give him,
Quit. All right.
we are very proud to have him on the cover.
Yeah, so the thing that I will say is as I alluded to earlier in the show, this was something new in our market, and as new things happen, some people are for it, some people are against it. After the magazine has come out, what have you picked up momentum?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
I think it has burst some little bubbles of misunderstanding. And
Right.
the more people that I meet with, the more people who get to know me and who meet with me a second and third time. And now that the magazine has actually hit desks and people read it and they see, like, gosh, this is about honoring the lives and the careers of our agents. There's really not another agenda. There really isn't. So yeah, things have the tone has changed, and there were always a great many supporters. It wouldn't have
Right.
happened this quickly if there weren't.
Right.
And in fact, I was awarded at our last conference. I was actually awarded a trophy for having launched quickly compared to other markets because the traction was so great here. That's how I was able to do it. I mean, it was really nothing that I did special. I think that our market, I think that the people in this area, that the agents that I've met with, they're good people that understand that what I'm trying to do is a good thing and that I have good intentions. And if it weren't for the advertisers who had vision in what we're doing to sponsor this magazine, it wouldn't have happened. There are a lot of people with a lot of vision who saw the truth in it and who love the mission.
It's a great magazine, and I like now that you're doing fun stuff like the Facebook poll, which I still don't understand. Why does everyone think that I'm a mechanic?
More people than not thought that the answer was that you were an avid, skilled mechanic
before I got
Do y'all know
Did you
how
vote for
far
that?
off you
No.
are?
No.
If you go in the article,
What was the other choice? Because
Nito
boy.
said don't buy a house, which it couldn't be that.
No. Dr. Cubain said people are not looking to buy a house.
Okay.
They are looking to buy the product of the product.
Okay.
Dr. Cubain responds. So I asked, why does one realtor find success where another struggles? If all the above prerequisites to success have been met, and so Dr. Cubain talked prior to this about what are the prerequisites to a successful career in real estate. And so Dr. Cubain responds that, quote, people don't want to buy an agent's product. People are not looking to buy a house. What they're looking for is the product of the product. Luxury, safety, a familial gathering place, golf course experience, comfort, etc. An agent who understands this and who can interpret the value of a home in terms of benefits versus features will set themselves apart. It's the wow, quote, wow experience that any agent should seek to create. I know a million people who can show me houses, says Dr. Cubain. It's not enough. I'm wowed by people who follow up brilliantly, by people who solve problems for me, by people willing to go out of their way to make things happen. It doesn't matter how much you know or what you can do. What does matter, and this is like what you say, John, what does matter is what other people believe and perceive you can do for them. So it's kind of back to that.
But you're selling a
doesn't
home,
matter
not a
how
house.
much- Right.
All right, so we got about a minute left. I want to thank Alexis Brinkley for being on the show. Can we go somewhere to look at this? Is there a Facebook page, something like that?
Yeah, so triadrealproducers.com links to our Facebook page, which I feel is more valuable than any website because it's the people who we've been making connections with, the people who've made this possible, those that collaborate with us, and so that is where you can go to keep up to date on who we're meeting with. And also there's a VIP Facebook group that our agents of our market are invited to join. You don't necessarily have to be in the top tier of agents to join it, but that's extended to the agents of our market, and it's extended to our advertising partners.
So triadrealproducers.com, you can learn more about Alexis and the magazine, and I'm sure that you can probably see a really very attractive cover on that page, and so I want to say thank you for being here today. Obviously tomorrow is a big day, and so tomorrow is the Super Bowl. So before we go, yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
the big game,
The big game.
excuse me. Who do you think is going to win the big game, Madeline? Before we go,
The red, white, and blue.
all right. So Patriots or Eagles, Estee.
The Eagles.
Okay, Lee.
Please God be the Eagles.
Okay, Alexis, you got to
The
pick.
Browns.
Joe, Browns as well. Yeah, all right. Way to
We're
go.
from Ohio, Joe.
Yeah, I know. So it's not going to happen. Probably not in the next few years.
Not
yeah.
my poor father's lifetime, is it, Dad?
So
I hope so.
you know, the
I
Panthers
was
have already been there
I was
twice,
gonna say-
and the Browns still, yes. But there's always the Indians, right? There's always the Indians, right?
And the Cavs.
Yeah. So we'll be back next week with more Real Estate Radio here on 600 WSJS.